Hey everyone! If you are new to this channel, my name is McKenna. If you're not, then welcome back. Today I'm going to go to some big thrift stores and some little thrift stores and compare all the items I got, compare the prices of the different items, and just see if I prefer smaller thrift stores or bigger thrift stores. So I'm going to take you guys along.
Can we talk about like what we're doing? Like what do you do? It's so funny. But no, like you teased me, dog.
I got mad fire on my aux cord. I speak like I graduated Oxford. And if you're questioning and if you're not sure, then hey, I got some time so we can talk more. Talk more. Got mad fire on my aux cord. What's your preference? Do you like rap or rock more? Whatever that you like, I got it all for you. So what it do? I got a lot more time, so we can unwind, whatever you like. But I got mad fire on the aux cord. I speak like I graduated Oxford. And if you're questioning and if you're not sure, then hey, I got some time that we can talk more. Talk more. I got mad fire on my aux cord. What's your preference? Do you like rap or rock more? Whatever that you like, I got it all for you. So what it do?
It's good. So I was going to go home right now, but while in the line for Dutch Bros, the girl who took my order actually recommended a place for me to go called Sharons Attic. So I'm gonna stop there real quickly, see if there's anything. If not, then I'm gonna head home.
Lot of trouble, lot of bass, lot of trouble.
Okay, as you guys saw, I did quite a bit of shopping. We're gonna get right into it and start with the big thrift stores. The first big thrift store we're gonna talk about is Sabre's. Now, I am a Goodwill type of girl. I had actually never been to Sabre's before, and I heard a lot of people talking about it, so I was pretty excited to go. I was let down by Sabre's. Pretty much, I couldn't really find anything less than $7, and when I was shopping, I'm mostly shopping for my Depop shop. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can go watch my previous video. But I'm just trying to find clothes, not necessarily for me, but that I can resell. And $7 is a little expensive for just a t-shirt. I'm not gonna make much profit there. So I did really have to take into account the price of all these items. Side note, I don't even think I would spend $7 on most of the stuff there anyways, even if it was for myself. The first item I got is just this cashmere sweater. This was $4, surprisingly. I was surprised to find a 100% cashmere sweater for that price when everything else I was looking at was like $7 and up. So I'm actually glad that I at least found something like this, in which I do think that price is worth it. So next I just got this kind of light pink turtleneck. It's almost a mock neck, but I'd call it a turtleneck. Anything that's really just a solid color and is a turtleneck does pretty well on Depop, or at least I've seen a lot of those types of items. So I'm hoping that this one might gain some attraction. The last thing I found at Sabre's is actually more for myself. It's this t-shirt, it's Levi's. So, I don't know, I really like the color scheme that they went with, and the actual t-shirt itself is this kind of eggshell color. So, I'm looking forward to wearing that when it's a little warmer outside. This t-shirt was also $8.50. I really contemplated whether or not to get it, but I don't know. I just really like it. So I spent $8 on it. All right, now let's move on to what used to be my favorite thrift store, Goodwill. Like I said, Goodwill is kind of the thrift store I'm most used to. I would go to multiple Goodwills in a day usually and just stop by especially if it's like the half off type of day. But I don't know if it's just because of where I live or if this is what's kind of happening to all the Goodwills, but it was kind of hard to find anything that's decently priced or priced well enough that I could resell it and still make a profit off of. So most of the items I got were still a little pricey, but I did find some cool things. So first I found this yellow top. I don't know if it's supposed to be a crop top or if it's supposed to unbutton and just go over something, but I think it could be styled as more of a crop top. It's actually really cute. I love the ruching on the shoulders. That was really cool to find, and the buttons are very cool as well. And it was $4, which not too bad. Next thing I found was this striped cropped polo shirt. It's by Wild Fable, which is, I think, the brand that is in Target. But overall, it's pretty cute. Pretty easy piece to, I think, style, and a pretty easy piece to probably sell, just as it's very modern. And this one was $4. The next thing is this Obey t-shirt. It's got, you know, just a big flower on the back with the Obey right here. It's a very, very soft t-shirt. It was $6, but I'm thinking that just because it's Obey, I could price it a little higher, but we'll see what happens with this one. The last thing I meant to put back and didn't realize that I forgot to, it's this Only You Can Prevent Forest Fires cropped top. It is actually pretty cute, so I'm not too upset about it. But it is also $6 and it's just a t-shirt. Maybe I was meant to buy it. So I'll put it on Depop and see what happens. So where I go to school is kind of a small town, so they only have one Sabre's and one Goodwill. They do have a second Goodwill, which is the Goodwill outlet, the one with the bins. That I think I'll save for a different video just because it is a much longer trip and I did have to hit so many thrift stores that I didn't want to necessarily waste my time there, and I didn't think that I could judge it properly against all the other thrift stores. Hopefully in a future video you will see that. Now let's talk about the small thrift stores. I went in with the idea that small thrift stores were more expensive because they're usually more curated. I'd only been to, I think, one small thrift store and it was just very picked through and there was nothing really that was worth purchasing. I went into thrift stores with that mindset and got completely blown away. The first thrift store I went to was just a little place called Hodgepodge. I found probably the best items at this one. First is just this cute little turtleneck. I love the colors on this one. They're very, very neutral, very toned down, which makes them go really well together. It isn't necessarily something that I would wear, but I could see how someone would like an item like this. It's very stretchy and it's not one of those type of itchy sweaters. And the sleeves are pretty cool. They kind of flare out a little bit. I don't know if that's intentional or if that's just because it was worn so much, but overall, this is a really cool piece, and it was $5. The next thing I got is this sweater right here. It's got this kind of, I don't know, this detail on it. It's not necessarily lace, but it's just a different type of fabric that lines the entire collar. It also lines the bottom of the shirt. I honestly got this for myself. I'm keeping this one, and it was only $4, and it's the softest thing I've probably ever touched. It's made out of rabbit hair. I didn't know that you could even make anything out of rabbit hair, and I felt kind of guilty getting it because it's made out of rabbit hair, but then I looked it up and the rabbits aren't actually like killed for their fur, which is good, but it is seriously incredibly soft. The next thing is this kind of quarter zip sweatshirt. It's got this color blocking on it. This kind of muted green looks really good with this gray, and this little ring on the zipper is a very trendy thing right now. Plus the inside of this is so soft as well. It's so soft. This was $4. $4. It's literally so nice. $4. Are you kidding? I did get one other thing from Hodgepodge. It was this green and purple sweater. I'll put a picture of it up here, but it was my first item to sell on Depop. So I already shipped that out. I am so glad that something finally sold. Hopefully more things will start selling. The next thrift store is St. Vincent de Paul, I believe, is a thrift store, and it's also a food bank. This was very similar to Hodgepodge. There were a lot of items that were priced very similar, and there were actually some really good pieces as well. First is this just jacket. It's very soft and it's a very thick knit. It's almost shiny in a way. With how thick this is and kind of how nice the material is, I was surprised that it was only $5 as well. Next is this pink top right here. The biggest reason I got this was because of this part right here. It just looks very cute, very girly. It's a pretty nice material as well. It's very cute. This was $4, by the way. This one I almost regret getting. It's this Calvin Klein long sleeve top. I thought the front of it was kind of cool, but I'm not really so sure anymore. Luckily, it was only $4, so it's not too bad. It is a little pricier now that I don't like it, but the last thing I got were these sweatpants, kind of Brandy Melville style sweatpants. They've got like the cinched at the end and like very similar top, except these ones have just a little design on it. It's just a NASCAR kind of logo or person. I don't know who it is, but I thought the design was cool, and the sweatpants look brand new, like never worn. So there's those. So I did end up going to Sharons Attic, the one that the Dutch Bros worker recommended to me. I probably could have found more stuff. The shop really looked like it had a lot of potential, but as soon as I walked in, one of the people that worked there told me that they were closing in 7 minutes. I don't like to be that type of person that makes them like stay open longer just because I walked in at last minute. So I gave a quick view of everything. I did find one piece that I'll show you guys, but overall it had a very similar vibe to the rest of them. So what I found is just this kind of lime green, pastel green sweater. It's not a full length sleeve, it's just like a quarter sleeve, but this color is very popular right now. I actually really like the color. So I'm hoping that someone on Depop is looking for something like this just because it's so in style right now. So we did have a few flops with the small thrift stores. I went to one called Runways Fashion Exchange or something like that. And in the description of this place, it said that they really make sure they're only taking in like teen and like young adult style clothes. So I kind of expected it to be very curated, and when it's like that, when they're very specific to the items of clothes that they take in, it tends to be a little pricier. And so when I walked in, that's pretty much exactly what happened. Everything was $10 to $15, and that's not really what I need for my Depop shop. They did have some cool pieces, but nothing that was worth the amount they were wanting for it. I also did stop by a thrift store called, I think, The Garden. It pretty much only had old lady type clothes in a very, very select amount. So I pretty much walked by the store and did not even go in. I just went right back to my car. Shout out to the man that, as I was about to pay for parking, stops me to tell me that across the street was free parking. I would have spent my money just to be in that parking spot for 5 minutes, just to go right back to my car. So thank goodness for that guy. So that's all the thrift stores that I went to. Let's talk about my final thoughts. As someone who had a very almost low expectation for the smaller thrift stores, I was very shocked by the prices. I was surprised that they were cheaper than both Sabre's and Goodwill. So I'm definitely going to be returning to most of those. Obviously, Goodwill is something that most people know of, and there's plenty of them around, so it's a very easy stop to go to. But something about supporting like smaller businesses just like warms my heart a little bit. I'm definitely going to try to stick to smaller type thrift stores, especially just based on the items that I got. A lot of the actual items were discounted, so from a lot of the places it said like $5, but once I checked out they only charged me like $10 for everything that I got, just because they had so many discounts. Especially the smaller ones, they had student discounts most of the time, and I didn't even know, and they just knew that I was a student because I just look like a student, and so they would give me a discount like on top of everything that I got, and that is very much appreciated. But I'm sure I will still go to Goodwill, and I'm willing to give Sabre's another try. Overall, the small thrift stores may have won this one. I do think you probably will get a mix between small thrift stores that are expensive and small thrift stores that are actually cheaper. So you do have to do more trial and error when it comes to small thrift stores. You know what you're getting when you go to Goodwill, and you know what you're getting when you go to Sabre's. So that is it for today's video. Thank you guys for coming along with me to all these little thrift stores. It was a great time, and I will see you guys in the next video.